I want you to think boundaries, not bridge burning. I want you to think boundaries, not bridge burning. I think what's hardest about this situation with Joseph and the cupbearer forgetting him is that in the moment, this cut is really, really, really deep. And for Joseph, it's just another betrayal on top of other betrayals. And we've already talked about the fact that his family sucked, his romantic life sucked, and now he's got friends that suck too. This is enough to send most people into a serious downward spiral, right? This is when hearts start to harden up in a lot of us. This is when people quit trying. This is when people quit on God. It's when people quit on church. It's when people quit on themselves. But what's so interesting is we never see Joseph lashing out. He never gets bitter. In fact, in 2 years, something's coming up for Pharaoh. Joseph doesn't know this. But Pharaoh's got something coming up in 2 years that's going to remind the cupbearer of Joseph and of this experience. It's going to take 2 years, 24 months, but justice is coming. Help is coming. Deliverance is coming. It's on the way. He's just got to hang on through the hurt. Now, we never read about the cupbearer and Joseph becoming best friends and letting bygones be bygones, okay? Because Joseph is going to end up in the same court that cupbearer is in. And you don't think he saw him from across the room at every meal that he was at with Pharaoh, every staff retreat, every staff meeting? He's like, I know you, I know who you are. I know what you forgot. Here's the thing though. Eventually, that cupbearer was Joseph's ticket out of jail. God is moving kids around the classroom. Never underestimate how he can use somebody to get you to the assignment that he has specifically for you. Never underestimate it. This is why Paul says in Romans 12:17, he says, never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. Do all that you can. All that you can. In the Greek, all you can, it means all that you can. Okay? To live in peace with everyone. It doesn't mean that you always can live in peace with everybody that hurts you. It means for your part, on your side of the street, do all you can. Maybe you can't trust them to the level that you trusted them before. Maybe there does need to be a boundary in place. Maybe you need to say that, look, just because somebody says they're sorry doesn't mean that things go back to the way they were. But maybe making a Facebook post about your ex is a dumb idea. Okay? Maybe letting your hurt take you off your assignment isn't going to be what advances you in the class. Maybe your grace toward them might be the very thing that is going to keep the door open of that relationship just long enough for God to get you where you need to be. Isn't that what Jesus does with us in the hurts that we lay on him? John 15:15. Watch this thing take a turn on us now. I no longer call you slaves because a master doesn't confide in his slaves. Now you are my what? Now you are my what? You are my friends. Since I've told you everything that the Father told me, I did the assignment. I did what the Father told me to do. And as a result, he put me at the table with you. And now you're with me, and I'm calling you my friends. What kind of friend is Jesus? Deuteronomy 31:6. He will never leave you or forsake you. Another way to translate that, he will never, ever, ever forget about you. Never. We just sang about it. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. Great is your faithfulness. Oh God, my Father, there is no shadow of turning. No shadow of turning with thee. Jesus, watch this. Jesus is a different kind of cup bearer. He drank the cup that we couldn't drink. He asked God to take the cup from him. And God said, Jesus, I know you want me to take that cup from you. But for their sake, this is where I'm going to seat you next to them, so that eventually I can seat you by my righteous right hand. That is your ultimate seating assignment. The cup that killed Jesus was supposed to kill us. And when he said that we eat together and we drink together from the bread and from the cup, he said, this is how I want you to do it. In 1 Corinthians 11:24, do this in remembrance of me. Remembrance, 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 remembrance. The one thing Jesus doesn't want you to do is have him be the kind of friend he is to us, and then have us forget him when we are given the grace and the freedom that he's given to us. Why is it that we get so offended at what the cupbearer did to Joseph when we're so quick to do it to God? We forget. Most of us read this story and we're so quick to identify with Joseph, and honestly, rightfully so, because most of us have experienced some really hurtful things in relationships along the way. But what about the God? What about the God who calls us friends when we have a chance to remember him to others, to remember to tell his story, to remember to tell what he's done, to remember to walk in his grace, to remember to step into your calling, to remember to stay on your assignment, to the point that all God has given to us is seen and lived in us and through us, because we didn't forget. He hasn't forgotten you. Why are we so quick to forget about him? Why you're at the table today that you're at, I can't tell you. Why they did to you what they did, I have no idea. It hurts, it sucks, I get it, and I hate that part. But what I can tell you is that if there needs to be a change, think in terms of a boundary instead of a bridge burning. Why? Because God can use anybody sitting in any seat at any time to get you back on assignment. You just never know who God could use. The seat assignments are up to the teacher. How people behave in the class, that's up to them. No matter where you are in the classroom today, listen to me, don't you give up hope. Don't you stop trying. I know their betrayal is just the latest one. I get it that it sucks and it hurts. Trust me, your day is coming. Your moment is coming. Your time is coming. God takes ashes and he turns them into beauty. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And sometimes it takes 2 years, and sometimes it takes 20 years, but he does it. God is not a God who leaves anything wasted. So if you can help it, as far as it can be on you, set a boundary. Don't burn the bridge. People suck, but God doesn't. He's still teaching. Class is still in session. This isn't over yet. And in the meantime, you start focusing on what the teacher wants you to learn, sitting right where you are. And trust that he's still with you and that he hasn't for a second forgotten about you.